Hey guys, I'm back. Can you believe what we were just talking about? We were just talking about change, and guess what happened? My phone said, hey, it's overheating. We're not going to do this anymore. So, in essence of talking about change, that's exactly what I'm talking about. This idea that when things happen in your life, you have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to figure how to move forward, right? We can't just be stopped in our tracks. We will not be stopped in our tracks. So I was in the middle of, I think, talking a little bit about my career changes. So I'll hash that. So for anyone who missed that, and again, I apologize for the change in scenery. It's just too darn hot outside. I guess next time I do a live, we're going to have to do it a little bit later in the day by me so that the sun literally doesn't explode my my phone. How crazy is that, huh? So, as I was saying with my career, so what happened was I decided to make a change and shift the direction in being a bit more creative, a bit more autonomous in the type of work I did and who I worked with and what I did. And yeah, it was scary. Change can always be scary, right? It can be extremely uncomfortable. It can be extremely unnerving because you don't know. You don't know what exactly to expect. You don't know what exactly is going to happen. You don't know if you're going to like what's going to happen. You don't know if the change you're making is the change you should be making. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of questions, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't proceed. It doesn't mean that it's not something that you were meant to do, right? But you're in it. You're trying to figure it out. And for me, I would say the level of happiness, the level of freedom, the level of joy that I've gotten from those changes has been immense. It has been an opportunity to see life differently, an opportunity to learn more about myself, an opportunity to learn just generally and change how I viewed myself, how I viewed the things that were important to me, what made me happy. So I'm grateful. And I think that more and more people are kind of getting on this tidbit of, oh, I don't just have to do what mom and dad told me. I could try new things. I could explore new avenues for myself. And I think that more and more people are enjoying change and are embracing it. And so that's why I wanted to do a conversation about it, because I think typically when we think about it, it's something that is deeply unsettling, but it's only because that's the mindset that we take from it. So for me, the power of pivoting, the power of career changes, the power of change generally has taught me a couple of lessons. So let's kind of go through that. And this is a conversation. So if you have comments and thoughts and things like that, always feel free to put them in the comments, and I'm happy to come in and address them. And I'd also love to hear about your changes and how change has played a role in your life, okay? And again, just for people who are tuning into part 2 of this conversation and missed a tad bit of part 1, is my name is Natasha Nurse. I am the style ambassador for Style for It. This is an online platform dedicated to plus size women, sizes 12 to 32. So if you are plus size, if you know of plus size women who could benefit from joining a community that's not only about fashion, where they can buy and sell new and used clothing at styleforit.com, but they can also join a community where we're talking about things that affect our lives, inclusive of fashion, exclusive of fashion, all of it, right? So go to styleforit.com, and I can put that in the comments, and then we will go on and learn a little bit about the lessons that I've taken from this. So again, styleforit.com. All right, there we go. So you can learn that. And here are the lessons that I've learned. First, acceptance. Acceptance, I say this because for me as a child, I realized that I was resistant to change, right? I would see the opportunity for change. I might even be approached by change, and I was like, no, not happening. And I find that the more difficult something is because the more difficult you've made it in your mind. You have either turned it into a monster, or you are in the process of making it a monster, or you are viewing it from the negative side and not the positives that can come from it. So accept first that change is real, change is possible, and change is most likely happening in your life. And then I think you're a lot more accepting of the change that will take place from that. So acceptance is key. And also accept the idea that you are capable of change. I think some people become a little fixated, especially as we get older, the idea that I can only do something this way, I can only be one way, this is the one story you have told yourself. There are a myriad of stories that you can tell yourself. There are a myriad of stories that you can live by. It is really up to you to decide what story is going to make sense for you, okay? So acceptance. Next, meaning. For me, I realized that the changes that happened, like I was telling in part one, was the change of like living for 14 years literally the same way, and then my life literally imploding and exploding because changes between my mom and dad, changes in life, changes in scenario, all of that. That was meaningful because it needed to shock my system to get me into the understanding that, hey, chick, change is real. Change has to happen. And also understand why the change is happening. Understand why relationships break up. Understand why change can be a good thing. There's meaning for everything. There's meaning for everything in your life. It's just up to you to sit down with self and have that conversation and just say, okay, well, this is this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to figure this out. Okay. So change has meaning. It's up to you to figure out what that meaning is going to be and what you're going to do with that knowledge, because knowledge is only powerful if you do something with it, if you act upon it, if you use it. If you just let it sit in and then go out, no power there. Obstacles are opportunities. I've learned that through the power of change, through life changes. So obstacles, what can be obstacles? Recently, I just moved to Arizona, right? Woohoo! I'm out here sweating my life away, guys. It's amazing. And it's amazing to be in my office in my bathing suit. That's fun. I really wanted to do this outdoors with you guys. I'm so sorry. This sun is so overwhelming. So crazy. I can't. That's a good change. That will make me laugh. That'll tickle me for today. There are obstacles along the way for anything, right? If you are pursuing a career change, you might have an obstacle like interviewing and not getting the job you want. You might have an obstacle of getting to the interview. You might have an obstacle of getting the job and not getting the salary that you want. There's a myriad of obstacles that happen along the way. So that was a career kind of scenario. What if we do personal? Okay, so say you're in a relationship. You really love the person. However, the person isn't living up to the lifestyle that you want. Maybe they're doing things that you don't agree with. You love them, but you don't love the life that they're living. You don't love the things that you're now being exposed to because of that person. How do we make a change? How do we change what's going on? There can be obstacles on that route. You could be talking about your own health and wellness journey, right? There are obstacles along the way. For me, I revealed, I believe last May, yeah, it's been over a year now, that I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. So there's a lot of changes and obstacles that come with that. And how has that affected my journey? How has that affected my fitness journey, my health journey, all of that, right? Obstacles are opportunities because you're going to learn something, and that is meaningful if you accept it. See how I like went backwards with that? Awesome. So you have to change how you view something for it to change in your life. So an obstacle is an opportunity because it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to change, right? And it's not something that is going to stand in your way unless you let it stand in your way. So obstacles are opportunities, point blank, period. That, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing. And that was something that I had to learn the hard way. But the minute that I accepted that, the minute that I applied that into my life and as I deal with different scenarios, is how I can overcome these obstacles much quicker, because you've changed the script. You've changed how you're viewing it, how you're tackling it, and the meaning that it's going to take place in your life. So it's a good thing. Next, on the journey of kind of understanding how to embrace life changes, we talked about acceptance, meaning, obstacles are opportunities. Next on the docket is you're not alone. And this is something that I have really, really appreciated thinking about, applying, and teaching others, because so many of us are going through things, whether it's your fitness, whether it's your health, whether it's your mental mindset and mental health, whether it's your career, whether it's your family, relationships, whatever you want to mention or are dealing with. Guess what? You're not alone. You're absolutely not alone. There are so many other people that are dealing with what you're dealing with. What do you have to do? You have to tap into those communities. You have to tap in to the opportunities that are there waiting for you to dive in and connect with other people and share your story so others can share theirs, and you guys can comfort and give each other wisdom and learn from each other. But if you sit in silence and suffer, if you sit and refuse to tap into communities literally around the world that can help you, whose fault is that? Right? Whose fault is that? That's you. Boom, boom. That's you. You have to understand your role in your success, and then you have to move forward. So if you understand and accept that whatever you're going through, you are not alone, then you will have that energy and that hustle to then get online and get and see if there's a Reddit forum about this, if someone has written about this on their blog, if there's some author that's written a new book about it, if there's some convention that you can attend, right? There's so many different opportunities that you can dive into and make sure that you not only walk away from walk away and get a meaningful experience from it, but that you've tapped into speaking to people and resources that can help you, because you are never alone, ever, ever, ever. You're never alone. There's over 7 billion people on this planet. Guys, I mean, I know we all think like we're individuals, we're unique. We are. You are a walking, talking masterpiece, but I absolutely highly doubt that you're the only one dealing with whatever you're dealing with. So maybe it's not the exact situation, right? But I'm sure that there's someone or thousands of someones who have something similar that can tap in and be like, listen, this is what I did. And then you can think and see if that applies to you. But either way, you're having a conversation about it. You're not sitting alone feeling super depressed, super upset about it, because it's hard. It's hard when you go through something and you feel alone. I remember that was one of the biggest mistakes I took with change and not accepting it, that I felt like this was just me dealing with it. Wrong path to take, because it's going to make that path seem much more harder to climb and overcome. All right, so you're not alone. As I'm sure I'm not alone in the sweating game. Woo! This Arizona heat is amazing, but it will sweat you out, ladies and gentlemen. Next, you don't know what the future holds. And this is an important statement, because so many people are what? Know-it-alls, know-it-alls. I mean, listen, I'm a Virgo. I love to be right. I love to kind of call things out and, be like, look, this is how it's going to be, right? The coach in me, the leader in me is determined to kind of set the path right for myself, set the path right for the people that I work with, set the path right for loved ones. However, I'm not a seer, right? I'm not in a position where I can close my eyes and say, okay, you're going to win $1 million. You're going to Nope, not in that position, unfortunately. So what does that mean? Well, with the conversation of change and pivoting and not knowing the future, it means you have to be open. You have to be open to opportunities, to people, to circumstances, to ... that will come into your life, and they will either allow you to grow and learn, right, on the obstacle side of things, but then also opportunities to benefit and opportunities to succeed and ... You just don't know. So I think when you think about change, don't always just come from the perspective of, oh man, what do I have to brace myself for, right? But also the perspective of, ooh, I don't know what other beautiful opportunities are going to be coming my way and how I can benefit from them, how I can leverage them, all of that jazz. All right. So you don't know. It's kind of like the phrase, I don't know if you know the phrase, you don't know what you don't know, but it's that you don't know the future. You don't know what you don't know. So take it in, get excited, get amped, get real ready to rock your world, right? Because it doesn't always change there's not an equal sign that says bad. Change is dot, dot, dot. And you don't know what that dot, dot, dot's going to be. So embrace, embrace, embrace. All right, next. Change is good. I just wanted to put that out there because even when the change brings something dramatic and tragic even, it's a hard conversation. It is, right? Because there's some people who have experienced, hey, Martine, thanks for joining. And Akina, and of course, my lovely Khalil, you know, even when we deal with tragedy, ladies and gentlemen, it's a hard conversation, right? It's a very hard conversation. When you speak to people, and I've spoken to people who have lost loved ones, who've lost their child, right? Who've lost so much in their life, right? How do you have that conversation with them and say, hey, it's all good. Hey, you know, keep on moving, right? There's a time and a place for everything, and there's a tone that you take with every conversation. But ultimately, even in, hey, Akita, thank you. Dr. Finch, y'all, she's amazing. Yeah, you know, even in the worst of circumstances, we still have to be able to see that shining light, that sunlight. We have to see the blessings. And I know that that's hard, being a woman, being a person of color. I will tell you, there's certain circumstances in my life where it's like, how could I ever see anything like that being good, right? Whether it's being challenged for your race, being challenged for how much you weigh or how you look or who you are in this world, there's always a brighter side to the conversation. And sometimes we're not in a position to face it, right? Especially when you are in the midst of the loss, right? And it can feel a bit challenging to be asked to look on the brighter side of things. But with time, with healing, with acceptance, there's always the opportunity for you to go there and to say, okay, I'm done with mourning, right? Because mourning, happiness and sadness are choices, right? They're not just like happenstance. They don't just, they just happen. No, they're choices. You choose joy and you can choose sadness, the same. So once you're done kind of living in that space of sadness and you make a decision with yourself to choose joy, to choose blessings, then that's when you can have a little bit more perspective and you can start to think about what are the positives that you've gained from this? What can you learn and what is most meaningful on the positive side of things, okay? So ultimately, change is good. I know that can be hard to swallow, but I want you to let that ruminate with you. And I want you to think about it and think about every change that you've had in your life. Yes, you can easily identify the negative, right? Be like, girl, but the same way you can go in on that negative, I want you to go in on that positive, right? Girl, I got a job. I moved cities. Right? You gotta find the positive. You gotta find the good because there's good in everything. The smallest sliver of it, but you gotta find it, okay? Next, you will grow. This is meaningful. And this is something that I think is maybe hard when we're in that like 18 to 25 period of our life because, you know, context and seasons in our life, it's so interesting. It's so interesting between like 14 and 18, 18 and 25, 25 to 30, 35 and up, right? Like we go through all these different changes and seasons in our life, but I don't know necessarily if we always think about the meaning behind the changes taking place and the growth that happens between you at 18 and you now is remarkable. It's darn right incredible. If you really think about who you are at 18 years old and who you are today, crazy different, right? Crazy different. But you don't think about that at 18. You're probably not thinking about that at 20 or 25, but once you start hitting your 30s, you're like, huh. And that's where I'm at, right? That's where I'm at in my life. And so I'm trying to deliver that content and share that. So if anyone here is 18, if anyone here is 22 or 42 and 62 can really think about and let that ruminate with you and let that sink in that like the growth is amazing. And if you really start to think about why change is good, change equals growth, change equals opportunity, right? So it's and these are, you know, abstract concepts. So you have to get kind of real with yourself and exchange in your mind, like change, aka, what did that mean for you? So for me, like moving was the biggest change in my life. I have relocated coasts. I've gone from being an East Coast girl to a West Coast girl. And did everyone in my life think that was a great change or the proper change? No. But thankfully, my life isn't a democracy. So it didn't really matter what other people thought. It was me, my husband, our pets, God, and, move on, right? And figure it out. But I'm so grateful. And was that change easy? Oh, absolutely not. It's challenging. It's challenging to relocate your life. It's challenging to just figure things out on the go. But I'm so deeply grateful. I mean, it's a change that I'm going to be dealing with now for the next segment of my life, right? So it's content that I can continue to tap into and share with you, like, oh, this is what I learned about me. This is what I learned about Arizona. This is, things like that. But I'm so grateful. It really puts you in a place of gratitude. It puts you in a grace of thankfulness, because I don't know what I don't know. That's like what I'm going to be talking about for like the next couple of years, because there's so much to learn, and there's so much to learn internally and externally, which is really amazing. And so I'm deeply grateful for the good, for the bad, for the ugly, for the and the in between and everything there, right? So you'll grow. And I'd like for everyone tuning in here on the live or on the replay, think about how change has helped you grow. And if you're willing to share that and share that wisdom, please share it in the comments, because we all are walking, talking role models for each other. So the more that we share, the more that someone else can learn and say, and think about it, right? Like just words to think about, things to think about. All right. Next, give back. That leads perfectly back to my segment, or the segment I wanted to talk about, which is giving back, which means when you go through change, what can you now do? You can go and talk to the youth. You can go and talk to other women. You can talk to people in your network and share your wisdom. No one got anywhere in this world by doing it by themselves. Like, I just want to just burst that bubble just in case anybody had it. Like, oh, I did it by myself. Nope. Not never. We're not like isolated islands. Like, no, we're a community. All is one, one is all. We may not act like that in our society, but I'm here to tell you that's just kind of where we're at. So the more that we can understand that idea that when one of us succeed, all of us succeed. When one of us hurt, all of us hurt. Our world would be so much better if we applied that. But then secondly, thinking about that from the perspective of what have you learned in your life? What can you be giving back? How can you be giving back every single day? So whether it's through a live, whether it's through writing a book, whether it's through a summit, Dr. Finch, make sure you share the social summit on here so people know. It's incredible. It's absolutely remarkable. So the give back is real. The give back is powerful. So I don't know if you guys mentor. I don't know if you take time to spend with the youth, if you take time to have brunch with the girls. But before we get to the bitching and moaning segments, hey, what have you learned for the week? Hey, what have you learned for this quarter? Right? Like, let's be on that positive tip. Let's give back and learn, because maybe you learned about a new program that saved you money. Maybe you spoke with someone who's going to change your estate. Maybe right? Like, we all are doing different things in our lives, but why are we keeping it a dirty secret? Because we definitely don't keep it a dirty secret when we're mad, when we're sad, when we're complaining, because, some people are confused with Facebook. They think it's mydiary.com. I'm not sure why, because it says Facebook. It doesn't say mydiary.com, but nonetheless, I will continue to share that little sarcasm to get people to understand that it is not appreciated. Buy a journal, ladies and gentlemen. Buy a journal. Put your crap in there and write it and learn from it and resolve it there. This is a space that should be used, I think, for the opportunity to give back on that positive tip. Give back on the meaningfulness of what's going on in your life and what you're doing, the services you offer, All right, so the give back is real. Oh, I think with that, pretty much we are like coming to the end of this segment of this conversation, really. And again, I'm sorry that part of it was outside, part of it was indoors. What you gonna do? I'm gonna go swim after, so I don't know what you're gonna go do, but I hope you do something fun and meaningful, and I hope that this conversation has helped you put change into perspective, because that's really what this is. This is titled How to Embrace Life Changes. For me, my personal takeaway is that you might have not always embraced it. I definitely did not grow up embracing change, but the minute that I did, the minute that the changes that happen seem a bit more positive and a bit more meaningful, and I can apply it and learn from it a lot more. And I've really, really been grateful for that, because you can ask my husband, listen, I'm the kind of girl who I watch old movies over and over again because I just love knowing the end and seeing the end happen. Like, your girl struggled with change. I still do. It's not something that I don't think it's a journey. I think it's embracing change as a journey in your life. I don't think it's a fixed point. So am I a lot better than I was at 18 or 5? Yeah. Am I the best I'll ever be in my life? No, because I don't know what the next 50 and 60 years hold for me, if not longer. So, I know that at this stage of the game, I'm really grateful for how I have tried to embrace it a bit more, and how I've learned the power of acceptance and meaning, and obstacles are opportunities, and you don't know what you don't know, right? And the fact that you are not alone, and all of those things that we talked about. And I'm really excited 10 years from now what I can do to add to this conversation, how we can learn and grow from these tidbits, okay? So with that, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want you to join the Style For It community. If you aren't already a part of it, go to styleforit.com. Listen, it's more than just buying and selling clothes. It is a platform that offers content like this. On their YouTube channel, you'll see a lot more of me. And then, yeah, Dr. Finn, she shared it. See, I'm a part of this summit. She created it. She's a badass. And Dr. Finch, you and we need to do a Style For It conversation, actually. So I'll email her about that, because y'all will love to have her on the platform. She's really, really fun. So we're going to get that together. I'm going to message you. Woohoo! Thanks for sharing the summit. And then for future conversations, where do you find out about them? What's going on? It's their Facebook page. So facebook.com/styleforit. So, follow. I'll put that in here. Follow the Style For It calendar at facebook.com/styleforit. Super easy. So make sure you like the page, make sure that you share this video, tag friends in it, tag at least 2 people that that could benefit from watching this. And if you have kind of maybe afterthoughts, maybe you didn't have something that you wanted to talk about right now. Oh, yay, Dr. Finch, awesome. So I'll schedule that with you. Maybe we can do it next month if you have time. She's a busy lady, y'all. So, and we have the summit next month. So maybe after that, we'll pencil you in for something. And yeah, guys, join the community. I think it's a way for you to be able to upgrade your style without destroying the planet, because like I said, it's clothing that already exists, new and used. So that's really exciting, because we got to be more eco-friendly. We got to be earth conscious, because if we want a planet to live on, you have to care for it. I mean, it's just simple. You can't just use and just be like, oh, I don't know. No, you got to think about it. So kind of caring for the planet while caring for you and caring for your closet all can work together. They don't have to work against each other. So that's super amazing. And then if you have ideas for content that you want to cover on the platform, hey, you can totally reach out to me. If you want to reach me, I'll share that. You can reach me at dressingyourmate.com. So I'll share my stuff so you can get me. dressingroom8.com. And yes, that, I think that's right. Yes. Oh, here it is. Need to edit that. And then with that, any comments, thoughts, put them in the comment section. I'm happy to come back in here. And I just want you to enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And guys, I'm sweating. I have to go swim, okay? So thanks for tuning in. I will see you next month for more content. And of course, you'll see on the Dress Your Mate platform, I'm always doing something. Now that I'm more settled, I can get back into my regular schedule of always being online, which I truly enjoy. But we're gonna have to figure out that outdoor things, right? Because the sun is super crazy out here in Arizona. So stay tuned. It'll be interesting. All right. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.